Aylesbury News Weekly Roundup. Hello and welcome to Aylesbury News Weekly Roundup. And we started the week off with Stoke Mandeville hosting the National Junior Games at the Stoke Mandeville Stadium, the Gutman Stadium, to encourage disabled children to get active through sport and try and find a sport that they enjoy doing and encourage them to do that sport even more. And it was the first time that the Gutman Centre have actually hosted it, so congratulations to, and it was hosted by WheelPower, and it was a great success apparently. Well done WheelPower. This week on Bedgrove, a toddler was found walking alone. Luckily the police found him quickly and shortly after therefore found his parents and reunited them. Easily done. Toddlers wander off very quickly and if you didn't notice it, which they're gone quick, but it ended well. Parents had been found or located and reunited with their child. There was an accident at the end of the Aston Clinton bypass where a lorry had turned over and caused a few delays on that morning. Also on that same morning, part of the A418 in Wing was closed due to a lorry hitting some bollards, and the part of Wing was turned into a one-way system temporarily while they had sorted it out. There was a missing teenager who had links to High Wycombe. Her name was Ellie Green, who went missing last weekend. She had been missing nearly a week, but later on in the week she was found safe and well, so another good ending there. AVDC have simplified their customer service policy. What they've done is made it easier for people to either compliment them, complain about them, or leave comments about them online, and the wording makes it easier for people to understand it. You can find it on their webpage. A CCTV image was released after a man committed crimes in Wendover, and the police was asking for people to keep an eye out for him and let them know if they see him. This week a man was found in Morrison's car park who had been badly injured and left with life-threatening injuries, and was taken to Stoke Mandeville Hospital where he remains still. Police are appealing for witnesses or anyone that might have seen anything or knows what happened to get in touch with them via their non-emergency number 101. But this poor man was in his 50s. He's had a good beating of some sort and in hospital in a critical condition. This week we heard about a young girl of 11 years old taking part in the National UK Laser Run, which involves running, shooting a laser gun at a target and swimming. And she's got a chance to win a gold medal in Ireland. We wish her the best of luck and hope she done well. Earlier on in the week, a man from Tang was missing, but thankfully he was found. Firefighters from across the area tackled a blaze in Dinton this week, which was a bungalow with a thatched roof, and it took firefighters from Tame, Aylesbury, Wadston and other fire stations to help put it out. The home had damage to the roof, smoke damage and water damage to the house goods in the bedrooms, but the house is still intact. Police put a story out this week about people calling 999 and asking them to only call 999 if it really is an emergency. What they mean by an emergency is if there's a crime in progress or there is a threat of life or damage to your property. All other calls should be directed to 101, but if it's a non-emergency, you can go online and report it online on the Thames Valley Police website, and there's a bit there that says tell us about it, so you can report it through there for non-emergency numbers. They would like people to not use 999 and 101 as emergency calls, and make sure if you're going to call is an emergency, and it's been known for people to phone up and say, oh, I'm just phoning you up to let you know that I found me dog, and silly things like that. And it's taking up resources that could be helping someone who's really in an emergency situation. This week we had a report about Aylesbury Council maybe clawing some money back from the schools across Buckinghamshire to get some money back, which was never a good thought in the first place, because schools work out their budgets, get the things they need for the children or improvements, and they try to save money in case they need to build a new classroom or a new building, and they build that up over the years, which just goes to prove that they are doing their job. The budget they've got for the year, they're getting the things they want for the children, and then still have money left at the end of the year out of that budget, which is good. It shows they're doing their job properly. Now, I'm sure schools can do this. Why can't Aylesbury Vale District Council do this? Find a way to save a bit of money at the end of the year from the budget they've got. I know they're struggling, but if schools can do it, so can the council. A teenager had been arrested this week after theft from vans across the Vale, and investigations led them to him. It was a 14-year-old boy from Bridlington, Great Bridlington, 14, and robbing from tradespersons' vans. Is there a point where we have to hold the parents responsible for their child's behaviour? Because at 14 and breaking into tradesmen's vans and stealing their tools, that's quite a big crime at the age of 14. So do you hold that 14-year-old child responsible, send them to a young institute, young offenders institute, or do you hold the parents responsible for their children up until the age of 18? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Leave a comments down below. I think somewhere along the line parents have to hold some responsibility for their children's behaviour, but that's just my fault. This week Aylesbury Town Centre held the annual Walk the MS Mile, and they raised a record-breaking £12,000. The walkers, wheelers, scooters, whatever they were doing with it, how they were getting along that mile through the town, because some people were in wheelchairs, others used scooters and so on, and they got a really good response from the public. Thank you to the public for cheering them on basically and giving them a hand to say well done. And it is a well done to everyone who raised that kind of money in one day. It's fantastic work. Well done everybody. There's more sad news this week. Someone had been up to Coombe Hill and broke part of the monument up there, the trig point. Now, to me that's very sad, and apparently they did it to try and get some of the metal from inside. All that, destroy something that's up on a beauty spot and been there for years, and to destroy it to get a bit of metal to line your pocket with a bit of cash. You're crazy. You're nuts. This couldn't have been teenagers, because this job had been done proper. The thing had been smashed to pieces, laid out and bits moved, and they must have had a van or something nearby. Ludicrous. Anyway, the trust are trying to raise money, and they want to hear from people about what they could possibly do to make the site easier for people in wheelchairs, easier for access basically, or a virtual map for the blind or partially blind. I say do all of the above. Go big, crowdfund people or local people. I'm sure local people would back you and donate generously, maybe, and that bit bigger, and get some sort of security up on the hill, CCTV or something like that, to protect it and get these sort of criminals put away. A group robbed a man of his car down on the Bicester Road this week. They dragged him out of his car and hit him, and then they got in his car, group of 3 men, and drove off. That's all we know about that story at the moment. We'll let you know more if we find out. A man from Aylesbury who broke a woman's jaw in 3 places, jailed. Good. Men that hit women, to me, are cowards. He punched her so hard that he broke her jaw in 3 places, and he got sent to prison for it, which is good. He received a 4-year sentence, which suits the crime. That's a sad situation. Competition, Aylesbury Bake Off, is starting soon. It'll be solicitors and property experts challenging out against each other to find out who's got the best baker, and it's all going to be happening up at Waterside Theatre, where you can buy and taste the cake and judge if you wish. Aylesbury Town Centre development, the Exchange, parts of it will be opening this December, mainly the new open space square for the public, which is going to be open first. It's going to be a public square where you can sit down, relax. It's going to have bronze statues there, green areas, somewhere where we can relax. And then the restaurants will start moving in at the end of January roughly. Zizzy's is still committed to opening up there, even though they've had trouble earlier on in the year in business, but they're hoping to still come to Aylesbury. A report this week that 2 birds have been shot with a BB gun which was loaded with ball bearings. One was a duckling and the other was a red kite. Unfortunately, the red kite didn't survive, but the duckling did. Anyone that's using a BB gun with ball bearings, if they get caught, they should be arrested for use of a lethal weapon, because with bearings in it, it becomes lethal. A man was sent to prison this week for spitting in the face of a police officer when he was taken into custody at Aylesbury. He spat in the face of an officer and he went to court. He pleaded guilty to several charges, one of them being spitting in the face of a police officer. The judge sentenced him to 10 weeks inside. Personally, I don't think it's enough. Our police officers have a problem, have problems already keeping on top of things, and they deserve more respect than that, than somebody spitting in their faces. That's disgraceful. It's disgusting. There's a search for an owner of a black cat that was run over, and the cat wasn't microchipped, so they can't trace the owner. The cat was left with a fractured pelvis. It happened down on Park Street near the Nissan garage. So if you're missing a black cat, it's been taken to Handon Veterinary Surgery, where it's been treated for its broken pelvis and been given pain relief, so it's not in any pain. Aston Clinton residents are complaining about the lorries going through the village are ruining the road, because the residents were told the lorries will be queuing up on the bypass and then told when to go up to the site and deliver their stuff. Apparently this isn't happening because the lorries are parking along the side of the road. One particular lorry was parked up on the grass verge and the pavement, and it was there for over 4 hours. So obviously something's not being watched or done about it, and Aston Clinton residents are complaining about it, and rightly so. There was a report this week about a disposal service which was hired by Buckinghamshire Healthcare to dispose of body parts and toxic liquids, has been stockpiling body parts and the toxic liquids due to breakdowns of the furnaces, the high heat furnaces, and the age of the furnaces. and they're being looked into, so they might not be able to fulfil their contract. But Bucks Healthcare do have a contingency plan about storing bits at the hospital until they find somebody to dispose of those bits. But the firm have said they are still going to fulfil their contract with the Bucks Healthcare. Doctors dishing out painkillers costing 1.6 million in bucks. Over 1.6 million pounds is being spent on prescribing the likes of ibuprofen and paracetamols to patients. To me, that shouldn't be the thing. They shouldn't be able to be put on prescriptions. Ibuprofen and aspirin, buy them. They're dirt cheap nowadays. There's no excuse for having them on a prescription. It's costing 3-4 times as much on a prescription. So you might as well go and buy it over the counter at Tesco's, Morrison's or a pharmacy. It'll save a lot of money on the NHS. Instead of asking your doctor for these painkillers, you can buy them over the counter. But then it's also down to your GP to tell you this. Rather than them prescribing it for you, they should turn around and say, look, all you need is some painkillers, use ibuprofen or aspirin and it might help. You can even get other ones like Anodin that are not, they don't cost a fortune. You could afford it quite easily. Now, would you believe this has actually happened in Aylesbury? A young mum sat in the back of the car waiting for her husband to come back from the newsagents. While she's waiting, some idiot jumps in the car and steals the car. He drives off erratically and at speed with a young mother and a newborn baby in the back of the car. The woman obviously panicked and she hit the offender around the head a few times, and he stopped the car in the middle of the road. He got out and fled the scene, heading towards Wadden Chase. This happened on October the 2nd, Tuesday, October the 2nd, at around 8:40 PM in the evening. Police are asking people to review dash cams to see if they've got any footage of the man fleeing out of the car or fleeing down Wadden Chase or somewhere like that, and if so, to get in touch via the 101 non-emergency number. But how nuts is that? Sitting in your own car waiting for your husband and you get stolen with you in it. And rightly so for that woman to panic and hit the man. She's first thing that must be going through her mind, God, I must protect my baby. It's something when you can't be safe in your own car. I think any journey you do nowadays, you're going to have to lock your car because it's not safe. Bicester Road, man gets pulled out of his car by 3 people, beaten up, and they flee the scene in his car. And now this one with a woman who's got a baby sat in the back of the car waiting for her husband, and someone jumps in and steals it. It's a mad world. A lot of people out there just don't give a two monkeys about anyone or anything. It's a sad state of affairs, I know. Anyway, you've been watching Aylesbury News Weekly Roundup. Hope you like my gabbling again. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like our videos, and don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and leave comments below. Oh, don't forget to share and like our videos. Thank you.